Hey everyone, and welcome back to Story Mode, the podcast where we talk all things fashion, creativity, and trends. I'm Emma, and as always, I'm joined by my amazing co-host, Chloe.
Hi everyone! Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give us a like if you enjoy the episode. It really helps us keep creating content for you. And of course, feel free to leave a comment with your favorite style tips.
Perfect. Now that that's out of the way, let's jump into today's topic, exploring the latest fashion trends and how to make them your own. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Style Stories, the podcast where we talk about fashion, creativity, and everything in between. I'm Emma, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Chloe. How are you today?
Hi Emma, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. It's been such a busy week. I've been running around the city trying to find the perfect coat for autumn. You know how it is.
Oh, I can totally relate. Finding the coat that's both stylish and warm is like a never-ending mission. So, did you finally get one?
Yes, actually. I found this beautiful, oversized wool coat in beige. It's minimal, elegant, and goes with literally everything. I feel like it perfectly represents this season's trend, that effortless, timeless vibe.
Yes, that quiet luxury look, simple but expensive looking. I've been seeing that everywhere lately. People are moving away from flashy logos and choosing more classic pieces.
Exactly. I think social media really influenced that shift. Before, everything was about standing out, neon colors, bold prints, and statement accessories. Now it's more about subtlety and quality.
Totally. It's funny how fashion trends always swing like a pendulum. One year it's all about maximalism, and the next it's about minimalism again.
That's what makes it so fascinating. Fashion is like a reflection of what's happening in society, our moods, values, even the economy.
Absolutely. And that's what we're going to explore today, how fashion trends evolve, what influences them, and how we can build our own personal style that lasts beyond any trend.
Yes, so grab your coffee, sit back, and let's dive into the world of modern fashion.
So, Chloe, when you think about how fashion has changed over the past decade, what stands out to you the most?
Hmm. I'd say the biggest change is how fast everything moves now. Back in the day, trends would last for a few years, but now they change almost every season, or even faster thanks to social media and fast fashion brands.
Yes, totally. I remember when skinny jeans were in for like 10 years. Now, one month it's baggy jeans, the next it's cargo pants, and then suddenly everyone's into tailored trousers again.
Exactly. It's like a fashion roller coaster. And people feel pressured to keep up because trends are so visible online. Every influencer is posting new outfits daily, and that creates this constant feeling of needing something new.
That's so true. I read somewhere that the average person now buys 60% more clothes than they did 20 years ago, but keeps them for only half as long. It's kind of crazy.
Wow, that's shocking. It really shows how much the culture of consumption has changed. But on the bright side, I also think people are becoming more conscious about sustainability.
Yes, definitely. There's a growing awareness that we don't need to chase every trend. Some people are now curating capsule wardrobes, just a few high quality pieces that go with everything.
I love that idea. It feels more intentional. Instead of buying impulsively, you build a wardrobe that truly reflects your personality. Plus, it saves money in the long run.
And it's kind of empowering, right? Like, instead of letting trends control you, you decide what suits you and what doesn't.
Exactly. It's about developing your own sense of style, not just copying what's trending on TikTok.
Couldn't agree more. Actually, that reminds me of something interesting I read about how Gen Z is bringing back old trends, but in a completely new way.
Oh, yes, the whole year 2000 revival, right? Low rise jeans, shiny fabrics, butterfly clips. It's nostalgic, but also ironic at the same time.
Totally. Let's talk about that next. How old styles keep coming back, but with a twist. So let's talk about this fashion nostalgia. Why do you think old trends keep coming back every few years?
Honestly, I think it's because fashion is cyclical. People always get tired of what's current and start romanticizing the past. Plus, social media has made vintage aesthetics super popular again.
True. It's like every generation rediscovers something from 20 years ago and gives it a modern spin. The Y2K style is a perfect example. It's playful and bold, but now people style it in a more balanced way.
Exactly. Back then, it was all about being flashy. Think Paris Hilton or Britney Spears with those glittery tops and low-rise jeans. Now, Gen Z mixes those same elements with more neutral pieces, making the look more wearable and chic.
I've also noticed that thrifting has played a huge role in this revival. People love finding authentic vintage pieces instead of just buying new ones that imitate old trends. It's more sustainable and unique.
Totally. There's something special about finding a piece of clothing that already has a story. And since so much fast fashion looks the same, vintage clothes help people stand out.
That's so true. I've seen so many creators on TikTok and Instagram styling secondhand outfits and making them look high-end. It's all about how you combine things, not how much you spend.
Exactly. Style isn't about money, it's about creativity. You can wear a thrifted shirt with designer shoes, and it still looks amazing if you know how to balance it.
Yes, and I think that's one of the best things about modern fashion. It's more inclusive and flexible. There's no single right way to dress anymore.
I love that. Fashion used to be full of strict rules. Don't mix patterns, don't wear white after Labor Day, and so on. Now it's more about expressing yourself and breaking the rules in your own way.
Exactly. Individuality is the new trend. Speaking of that, in the next part, maybe we can talk about how personal style is evolving and how people are using fashion to express their identity.
Yes, let's dive into that. The power of personal style.
So, Chloe, let's talk about personal style. I feel like nowadays, it's not just about following fashion trends. It's more about showing who you are through what you wear.
Absolutely. I think people are realizing that clothes can be a form of self-expression. What you wear can tell a story about your mood, your personality, even your values.
Yes, like when you see someone wearing all black, it can mean confidence, simplicity, or maybe a love for minimalism. And someone else might prefer bright colors because they want to spread positivity.
Exactly. I also think personal style comes from experimenting. You don't find it overnight. You have to try different things, mix textures, combine vintage with modern, and see what feels authentically you.
That's such a good point. I remember when I was younger, I tried to copy celebrities. I'd see what they wore on red carpets and think, okay, that's what I need to wear to look stylish. But now I realize real style starts when you stop copying and start creating.
Yes, I can totally relate. For me, discovering my style was like a journey. At first, I was obsessed with trends. I'd buy whatever was popular. But then I realized that half of those pieces didn't even make me feel comfortable or confident.
Exactly. Confidence is everything. When you wear something that feels right for you, it changes your whole energy. Totally.
I think that's why people love minimalist fashion or capsule wardrobes. It's not just about looking good, but about feeling grounded and intentional.
Right. And I think social media has both helped and complicated this. On one hand, you get tons of inspiration. But on the other, it can make you question your style when you see everyone else looking perfect.
Yeah, it can be overwhelming. But at the same time, I think platforms like TikTok have made fashion more diverse. You can find any aesthetic, from cottagecore to streetwear, and there's space for everyone.
That's what makes it so exciting. Fashion isn't about fitting in anymore. It's about standing out in your own way.
Exactly. In the next part, we should talk about the digital side of fashion, how influencers and social media platforms are shaping what people wear.
Yes, that's a great idea. Let's get into the world of fashion influencers next. All right, let's talk about influencers, the people who honestly shape how millions of us dress without even realizing it.
Yes, influencers have become the new fashion icons. Years ago, we looked up to celebrities or supermodels. Now, it's people on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube who decide what becomes trendy.
Exactly. It's fascinating how someone can post a single outfit video and suddenly that item sells out everywhere. It's like instant trend creation.
Totally. And what I love about that is the sense of authenticity. Influencers often feel more relatable than celebrities. They show how clothes look in real life, not just on runways or in photo shoots.
That's true. I remember when fashion used to feel a bit untouchable, like it was only for the elite. But now, anyone with a phone can create fashion content and inspire others.
Exactly. Fashion has become more democratic. But at the same time, there's a downside too, the pressure to always have new outfits to look perfect all the time.
Yes, that's the tricky part. There's this outfit of the day culture where people feel they can't repeat clothes. But in reality, true style comes from how you re-wear and recombine pieces, not how often you shop.
Absolutely. I think that's why outfit repeating has become almost a statement now. Even celebrities like Kate Middleton are praised for wearing the same dress multiple times. It's classy and sustainable.
I love that shift. It's teaching people that sustainability can be stylish, and influencers who promote thrifting or upcycling are playing such an important role in that.
Yes, the sustainable influencer is definitely on the rise. They remind us that fashion doesn't have to be wasteful to be exciting.
Totally. And it's so refreshing to see authenticity winning over perfection. People want realness now, not just filters and luxury.
Exactly. I think that's where fashion is heading, toward individuality, honesty, and creativity.
Speaking of sustainability, maybe in the next part we can go deeper into that, how eco-friendly fashion is changing the industry and why it matters so much.
Yes, perfect. Let's talk about sustainable fashion next, one of the biggest revolutions in the modern style world.
So, Chloe, sustainability. It's become one of the biggest topics in the fashion world lately. What do you think sparked this movement?
I think it's partly awareness. People are finally realizing how damaging fast fashion can be. The waste, the pollution, the poor working conditions. Once you learn those facts, it's hard to unsee them.
Yes, totally. It's shocking when you find out that the fashion industry is one of the largest polluters in the world. It really changes how you look at your clothes.
Exactly. That's why so many brands are trying to become more transparent now, using recycled fabrics, reducing waste, and showing where their clothes are actually made.
I've noticed that too, but sometimes I wonder how much of it is real sustainability and how much is just marketing. Like greenwashing.
Oh, yes, that's such a big problem. Some brands use words like eco-friendly or conscious collection. But when you look closer, only a small percentage of their products are truly sustainable.
Right. It's tricky as a consumer. You really have to do your research if you want to shop ethically. But at the same time, I love that the conversation has started. 10 years ago, no one even talked about this.
Exactly. And now people are not only shopping differently, but also changing their habits, buying secondhand, repairing clothes, swapping with friends. It's becoming a lifestyle, not just a trend.
I love that idea, fashion as a lifestyle choice. Like, you can still look amazing without harming the planet. You just have to be more intentional.
Totally. And I think social media helps too. There are so many creators showing how to restyle old outfits or transform thrift store finds into something new. It's inspiring.
Yes, it turns fashion into a creative challenge. Like, how can I make the most out of what I already have instead of what can I buy next?
Exactly. That mindset shift is powerful. It's like we're redefining what luxury means. Not about price, but about quality and longevity.
Beautifully said. And I think that connects to something else, how fashion affects our mindset and confidence. Maybe we can talk about that next, how what we wear can influence how we feel.
Oh, I love that topic. Fashion psychology.
Yes, let's dive into that next. All right, Chloe, let's talk about something I find really fascinating, the psychology of fashion, how what we wear actually affects how we feel.
Yes, I love this topic too. There's even a term for it, enclothed cognition. It means that our clothing can influence our emotions, confidence, and even performance.
Exactly. Like when you wear something that fits perfectly and matches your personality, you automatically stand taller, speak more confidently, and just feel better about yourself.
Totally. I always notice that when I wear something I really love, even a simple outfit, it completely changes my energy. I feel more productive, more positive, and somehow more me.
Same here. And it's not about looking expensive or trendy. Sometimes it's just about comfort, like finding that balance between style and feeling at ease.
Exactly. Comfort doesn't mean boring. I think that's a huge misconception. You can look stylish and comfortable if you know what suits your body and lifestyle.
Yes, and I think that's where personal awareness comes in. When you understand what colors, shapes, and fabrics make you feel good, fashion becomes less stressful and more empowering.
Totally agree. And I think that's also why some people create a signature style. Like always wearing neutral tones or always accessorizing with bold jewelry. It becomes part of their identity.
Yes, and it's so cool how people can communicate who they are without even saying a word, just through their clothes.
Exactly. Fashion can be like body language, silent but very expressive.
That's such a great way to put it. And it also explains why when we're going through changes in life, new job, breakup, or even just a new season, we often change how we dress.
Yes, it's like clothing becomes part of our transformation. A new haircut, a new outfit. It's a way of saying, I'm starting fresh.
Totally. Fashion can be healing in that sense. It's not superficial, it's emotional.
Absolutely. And that makes me think, maybe in the next part, we can discuss how to build confidence through fashion. Like real tips for finding your style and feeling good in your own skin.
I love that idea. Let's make the next part all about practical advice, how to use fashion to boost your confidence. All right, Chloe, so now let's get practical. How can someone use fashion to actually feel more confident?
Well, the first thing I always suggest is understanding your body shape and what flatters you. Not to follow trends blindly, but to choose pieces that make you feel comfortable and confident.
Yes, that's so important. For example, some people might avoid stripes or certain cuts because they feel self-conscious. But when styled correctly, those same pieces can look amazing.
Exactly. And another tip is to focus on colors. Wearing colors that suit your skin tone can instantly make you look more vibrant and energized. Even small touches like a scarf or a handbag can make a big difference.
Absolutely. I also love the idea of power pieces. Outfits that make you feel unstoppable. Maybe a tailored blazer, a bold dress, or even a statement coat.
Yes, and accessories are key too. A unique necklace, stylish shoes, or even a hat can transform a simple outfit into something that feels intentional and empowering.
I totally agree. And it's also about experimenting. Don't be afraid to mix patterns, textures, or styles. Confidence grows when you take risks and discover what works for you.
Exactly. Fashion is like a game. The more you play with it, the more creative you become, and the more confident you feel in your choices.
And don't forget the little details. Even simple things like making sure your clothes are well fitted, ironing your outfit, or choosing the right shoes can boost your confidence significantly.
Yes, it's the small things that make the biggest difference. And I think another important tip is to avoid comparing yourself to others. Your style is yours, it doesn't have to match anyone else's.
Absolutely. True style is authentic, and when you wear what feels right for you, people notice. Not because it's trendy, but because you own it.
Exactly. And that ownership is the real source of confidence. You don't just wear clothes, you wear yourself.
Beautifully said. In the next part, maybe we can explore fashion trends to watch for next season, some predictions and things to keep an eye on.
Yes, that's always exciting. Let's dive into upcoming trends next.
All right, Chloe, let's get into the fun part. What's coming next in fashion? What trends should our listeners keep an eye on?
There's so many exciting directions. One trend I'm seeing everywhere is bold textures. Think faux fur, velvet, and chunky knits. People are really embracing tactile fabrics that feel cozy but look luxurious.
Yes, I've also noticed a lot of oversized silhouettes, big blazers, wide leg trousers, and voluminous dresses. It's all about comfort with a statement.
Exactly. And I love that it's not just oversized for the sake of it. There's structure in the layering, so it still looks intentional and chic.
Another trend I've spotted is bright, unexpected colors. Not just pastels or neutrals. People are going bold with neon green, fuchsia, and electric blue. It's playful and eye-catching.
Yes, and it's interesting because it's mixing with neutral basics. You might pair a neon top with tailored beige trousers, balancing fun with elegance.
I've also been seeing a comeback of retro accessories, tiny handbags, chunky sneakers, and statement belts, all nods to the 90s and early 2000s.
Totally. And another big trend is sustainable luxury, brands using recycled materials and ethical production methods, but keeping the designs sleek and modern. It's like fashion that feels good inside and out.
I love that. It shows how trends are evolving, combining style with responsibility. And of course, personalization is huge. Custom embroidery, patches, or monograms are everywhere. People want their clothes to feel unique.
Absolutely. The message is clear. Trends are fun, but individuality matters more than ever.
Exactly. And I think that's a great way to wrap up the trends discussion. In the next part, we should give some advice on how listeners can adapt trends to their own style without losing their individuality.
Yes, that's perfect. Let's make the last part all about practical tips for trend integration.
All right, Chloe, we've talked about trends, nostalgia, sustainability, and confidence. Now let's give our listeners some practical advice. How to adapt trends to your own style without losing your individuality.
Yes, first, I'd say pick one or two trends at a time. You don't have to follow everything. Choose what genuinely excites you and works with your existing wardrobe.
Absolutely. It's better to integrate a trend subtly than to overwhelm your style. For example, if oversized blazers are in, you could try one in a neutral color instead of a flashy pattern. It blends well with what you already have.
Exactly. And don't forget accessories. They're an easy and affordable way to experiment. A trendy bag, shoes, or even statement jewelry can update your look without committing fully to a trend.
Yes, and also mixing old and new pieces is key. Pairing a vintage top with modern pants or restyling a thrifted jacket with current trends creates a unique look that's all your own.
Totally. And I think one of the most important tips is to stay true to your comfort zone. Trends are fun, but if you don't feel confident wearing them, it'll show. Confidence always wins over trendiness.
Absolutely. Fashion is about self-expression, not following rules. Even if a trend is everywhere, you can adapt it in a way that fits your personality.
Yes, and lastly, remember that style evolves over time. Don't stress about getting it perfect immediately. Fashion is a journey, and your choices today might inspire your style tomorrow.
Beautifully said. So, to wrap up, trends are exciting, fashion is personal, and confidence is the ultimate accessory.
Exactly. And to all our listeners, experiment, enjoy the process, and most importantly, wear what makes you feel like your best self.
Perfect. That's it for today's episode of Style Stories. Thank you so much for joining us, Chloe, and thank you to everyone listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your favorite style tips with us.
Thanks, everyone. See you next time. And remember, fashion is fun, but your individuality is forever.